Hi everyone, good afternoon. It's a pleasure to be here with you all today. My name is Lohane and I'm from Ibmec, Brasília. And here with me is Professor Rodrigo Araújo from Ibmec, São Paulo. Today we'll talk about an interesting and important theme that is how impact the world through economics, business, finance, and decision making. We have a presence list to give you a certificate and we'll put on chat. Please remember to fill it. We hope you all enjoy this moment. Professor, it's with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Lohane. Thank you, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here to talk with you about economics. So just to check who is our attendance today. So I think that Ana Clara, Ana Luisa, Diego, and Julia are the students present here, right?
Yes, for the moment, yes.
Okay, so I will allow the microphone from everybody, okay? So in case you want to make some questions or you want to make some comment, you can just open your mic and make your comment, okay? In case you guys have some questions or like just to comment something I said, you can also use here the chat box. I think it's also allowed for you, right? So you can just go there and type your comment or type your question, and I will be delighted to answer and to engage with you, okay? So just feel free. You can raise your hand, you can talk, you can write, as long as it's interesting for you. And so I think this is an important moment for you to choose your career, to see if economics is what you are looking for you, and also to see some different things about economics that we don't see normally. And I think this is important when you are looking for a career. I would never imagine that economics was everything I found after that, after I graduated. And I want to share this experience with you and try to make you like understand how many fields you can interact with economics, and that's the reason of this lecture. Okay, so first of all, I will just introduce myself. Lohan made a short introduction of myself, but just let me make the longer one. So I am the program DM of Ibmec São Paulo. So I'm the responsible for the economics course in São Paulo at Ibmec São Paulo. You know, Ibmec is at Brasília, Belo Horizonte, Rio de Janeiro, and São Paulo. And besides what I do at Ibmec, I'm also a product manager. I work with consultancy of behavioral sciences and trying to, the project I am managing is about how to understand, how to help people make good financial decisions. Basically, it is that. So we have a bank, we are working with this bank, and we want to help them to create apps or to create other kind of tools that they can use their clients can use to make better financial decisions. So this is also what I'm doing. And I'm an educator, so I work with many different projects. I also work with projects teaching teaching business and economics for students from abroad. So I think that's why I'm kind of here. So, and well, I'm also trying to pursue my PhD at Universidade de São Paulo, work with the social impact. I got my master's at economics, also at University of Universidade de São Paulo, and I also graduated from there around 20 years ago. It's a plan of time. And I work at this entrepreneurship, innovation centers, a lot of things. And one thing that I think it's interesting to mention is that when I was just graduated, I went to work in India. I worked in India for 6 months, evaluating entrepreneurship projects. And actually, it was a woman empowerment project. The theme is very common today, but it was not that common at that time. So I was responsible to check if that entrepreneurship program that was being made to empower women was working and was delivering what they were saying they were delivering. Okay, so and actually I didn't think about being a teacher. At the beginning, I started to work with these social impact issues. I graduated from economics thinking about how to work with how to fight poverty. This was my question when I was an undergraduate. And after that, I discovered a lot of things. Well, I discovered that I love to teach. I discovered that many things I thought to work, it didn't work. And at this meantime, as a teacher, I was invited to the selection, to the recruitment for being a program dean at Ibmec São Paulo, and then I'm here. And now I am responsible for this economics course that is based. It's very strong in finance and very strong in stock markets and in all the financial market. And well, but how is that possible? How can someone that like worked with poverty issues and then became a teacher and now is responsible for an economics course that's very like hard skill, like you work with a stock market, financial market, and this kind of thing. How is that possible? How like everything come together in the same person and the same career? Because like when we think about an economist, the first thing we imagine is something like this, right? You imagine a stock market, someone working with data, someone look at numbers and money and business. And that's what we think when we think about an economist. But actually, and that's true, we actually work with these kind of things. And this is one of the most important things we do. And at Ibmec, we learn a lot of this kind of things. And I think this is the main part of our course. But also, there's something else that economics is kind of the logic of the world. Oh, it can look like like it's a very potential thing, right? But it's not. Like actually, it's like this. So when we deal with economics, we do a lot of issues, a lot of things, a lot of different subjects. And well, let me see here, like just to check out with you guys. Are you guys, I mean, the students, are you considering being an economist or studying economics? So what do you, just type your answer here or just open your mic and say it very shortly, yes or no, like, are you guys considering being an economist? Just one yes, not really, okay. And who else wants to try an answer here? At the business administration, okay, that's fair, we're close related. Well, I have 50% of answers, right? So I think it's a good rate. Okay, so I will tell you about a little bit about economics, right? So I think you might consider this option, right? Well, I just going back here, like I think there's a lot of girls here, but I think you guys know CounterStrike, right? Do you know CounterStrike? The game, the video game, or the PC game? Have you ever heard about it? Oh yeah, because I know, like, even if you don't play it, like probably you know a lot of people that play it. And I know people that play it, but like it's not from my time, and I know it because like it's so common and people are always playing. So this is an ad that I found today at the Valve. Valve, in case you don't know, Valve is the company that owns the Counter-Strike. Like Valve is the company name, okay? They are the owners of Counter-Strike. And they are looking for an economist. This is their website, and you go there, find your career at Valve, and then you have this post there, right? And here you have apply for this position. And why they would need an economist like it? It seems they look more, they need designers, they need like illustrators, they need like programmers, right? Web developers, this kind of thing. Why are they looking for economists? Okay, so here's the hint, like, like they have a lot of data, lots and lots of data. And we need an economist to work with this. And also they say like empirical research skills, like, so it's it might have some experience and also empirical research skill. So it's not very, I'm not a very young economist, like not just graduated economist. So why do they need this? So if you go at CounterStrike, you see like people killing people and this kind of shooting things and guns and everything. And you can say, oh, it's just a game. It's just a matter of like it's just a video game, okay? But if you go deeper and look at the logics of, okay, just the qualifications of the economists, like Marx with economics, knows statistics, and this econometrics is the statistics for economics, right? And must be a programmer, work with Python. Well, this is what you learn at Ibmec, right? We have all these things there. Here, I mean, there in Brasilia, here in São Paulo. But you might like, why that? Why would they need an economist? Well, if you look at inside of these games, I just took this game because like this is a common one. It could be any game, right? And you have the weapons here and the rifles. I think it's like I personally think it's a bit violent. I don't know if I like that much this, but that's very common. So that's the reason it's here. And you see like the weapons there, they have prices, and you have to allocate prices, and you have to do everything to like try to win the game. And they give you some budget when you start the game. Okay, so what happens if like someone just like put every there's a lot of things that can happen even inside a video game, like for example, if you put the price too low for something. Let's imagine that all the weapons that you can buy inside the game, they are very cheap. The prices are very low, and so you can change the dynamics of the game, right? So people are going to buy more weapons of this. They are going to play different. They are going to everything you change there are prices there. You will change the dynamics of the game. So let's imagine that, for example, you made a mistake and you put the one kind of weapon much cheaper than the other inside the game. What's going to happen? What is going to happen is that you can like people are not going to use the expensive weapon. And if they're not going to use it, imagine it, you don't have to develop that weapon. You don't have to pay the designers, you don't have to pay the illustrators, you don't have to put money on programmers. These are hours and hours and hours of programming. So it's plenty of money to do some kind of this. Like you have just 1 year or 2 years people developing these games. So if you made a mistake, like, oh, I put a wrong price for the players, and people are not going to use that weapon. So things you just lost. You the company, like you the company that owns the video game. You are losing lots of money, and people are not playing the way you expected. And so you're not going to be profitable, and you're not going to work. It's a bad business, very very bad business. So that's the reason why you need an economist to check the data, to see how the players are doing, how they are interacting with the game, so you can have the right price, you can have the right combination of things, and you can like avoid a lot of this kind of mistakes, because the economist can work with any kind of data because he looks at the logics. So the logics he learns or she learns will help then or she or he to work with any very different subjects, very different themes, very different markets, even inside a video game. Actually, the video game, it's a kind of small reality, right? So it mimics the real world. So that's why you need an economist. I will just make a question here. Like, if I give, let's imagine CounterStrike or any other game like Mario Bros or whatever. Imagine that the video game now gives money for everybody to buy, like, like just double the money they have to inside the game for people to buy the weapons or the features they need for the game. If I just double the money, what's going to happen with the video game? Inside the game, what's happened with the players and the games? Could try an answer. It can be a short answer. What would happen? Imagine I'm the owner of CounterStrike, and now I double the money for everybody inside the game. there's no point here. You are going to get the certificate anyway, okay? So I assume this is a good science, right? You're just thinking it's a hard question. So I just assume this is a good science. And so what would happen in that case is that like you're going to have inflation inside your game, like the prices are going to go up, but nothing's going to change because they're like just double everything. They're relatively the same, but they're not going to do any more impact on that. But there's a long discussion that you can make here, like, like the price of the things inside the game, they must be equal to the effect they have on the games. So in this case, what's going to happen? So they're not going to, people are not going to lose money, and are going to, the company is not going to lose money, and players are going to use everything. But if you made a mistake here, like you can have this kind of things, right? Like someone that pays someone else to play in their place. I think do you know someone that do like this? I know a guy that do this, like he play video games for other people. So he reached the highest phase and then just give the user for the guy that was paying. And why that? But like this is uh, this is terrible for the company because the money that you are paying for someone to play for you, I could get from you to my company if I made a good plan, right? So there are a lot of things that happen inside the video game that's like it's data and it's economics and it's related to the business and also the interaction of people. And even in economics, there is a name for that. To adapt this kind of things, we have a concept for that. I'm not going to go deep on this, but here, like when we are thinking about how to solve what would be the price of the different things inside the video game, that would be a problem for the marginal rate of substitution. That's something that you learn in your second semester in economics. But just to say that, like you can impact different markets and different things and like solve many different problems as an economist. But now I will change the subject. Okay, so we were talking about video games and we were talking about Valve, like, but that's changed abruptly the video game. Like now let's talk about the environment and economics. This is 2014. Sorry for the, I'm writing with my right hand and I'm a lefty, so that's why it's not beautiful. But I think you guys know Greenpeace, right? Have you ever heard about Greenpeace? Just say yes or no here. Have you guys heard about Greenpeace, the environmental NGO? Someone else, yes or no? Yes. Okay, so Greenpeace is an NGO that make this kind of things. Like this is a protest. Like they go there and they want to save the planet and they want to save the animals and they want to protect the environment. And so when they think a company or a government or someone is like harming the problem, the planet, they go there and protest and say, you cannot kill the whales, you cannot kill the lion, the tiger, you cannot pollute the ocean. So stop using plastic, stop using that, stop doing this because you are damaging our planet. So this is what Greenpeace does. And this is there is this picture from a protest. Actually, it's not from this. This is from other people, but they are working with the Greenpeace. And this is an old this is an old case. So what happened here? Like they were trying to stop Shell because Shell, like the one that you go for the gas station, buy fuel. They were trying to explore oil, oil, petróleo, like in Portuguese. So they were trying to explore oil in the Arctic Ocean. Not in the Arctic Ocean, but in a small island there, I suppose. And so they went there, and the Greenpeace said, if you go there to the Arctic Ocean, you're going to create the difficulties for the polar bear, like the white big bear that's very beautiful. All the many teddy bears are made like polar bears. And then the polar bear is going to die because you are going to damage their environments. They will not have a place to live because you are killing the animals they are eating. So you're destroying the polar bear. So they said, like, Shell, you cannot go and explore oil in the Arctic Ocean because it's harming the environment and it's going to kill the polar bear. Okay, so that was the fight they had there, but they had a problem. Like, Shell simply didn't care, right? You know, like they are. I'm selling my product, people are buying it, so why should I stop what I'm doing? It doesn't matter. And then what Greenpeace did was this video that I think it's very, I would say, curious. And let me share with you here. Oh, that's before that. I think I have to share sound here. Like, let's put it here, include the sound, and then put the video, and then maximize, and then play.
Everything is awesome. Everything is cool when you're part of a team. Everything is awesome when you're living on a dream. Everything is better when we stick together. Side by side, you and I gonna win forever. Let's party forever. We're the same, I'm like you, you're like me. We're all working in harmony. Everything is awesome. Everything is cool when you're part of a team. Everything is awesome when you're living on a dream. Everything is awesome when you're living on a dream.
Did you see this video before? Have you ever seen this? Have you ever seen this? Did you know this video? Yeah, so it's really sad, right? You feel like you are terrible because you're buying Lego bricks. And also, why did they do this? Like, why Greenpeace made a video blaming Lego for this problem in the Arctic Ocean? They did this because of economics. That's the point. Like, you know, like if you look at the Shell, well, they just they are a company that sells oils for everything, like that comes from fuel to plastic. So like whatever they can, you know, like even bubble gums is done with oil. So there are a lot of things that are done with oil, and they just sell their product. Okay, that's part of life. And of course, there are some environmental risks when you dig oil. When you go to find oil, you may have many problems. Like here, even here in Brazil, when we explore oil in the seashore, you impact the environment there in the like in the floor of the sea. So it's not a very simple thing to do. Like there was also reported some very small earthquakes that happened in US because of digging oil or shale gas. So it's it's an issue, right? Yeah, and I'm not saying about the pollution. I'm just saying talking about the like like the immediate impact you have when you are exploring oil. And like if you have this environmental risk, some animals may find some risk, like the polar bear. Like, it can suffer a risk of extinction because like the place where the polar bear lives, it's going to be used for oil exploration. But, and this is a problem in economics, it's called externality. Externality when you are doing something or buying something and you get an impact on someone else that is not expected. Like, like you're buying oil, but you are killing polar bears so without knowing it. This is a case of externality. And okay, so Lego just won the plastic and gives the money to Shell. And the families, they don't want toys and they give them money for Lego, so everything is okay here. And so what did Greenpeace do? They just realized that, like many people, they don't want to be related with this kind of thing. They don't want to, like, I'm buying a toy. A toy is a very friendly and cute thing. I don't want to, like, this toy have some relation with the environment impact or something like this. So what they did was just connected dots. Like, you just said to the families that are buying Lego, that, like the Lego you are toying, the Lego you are buying, they are related with the polar bear extinction. Do you still want to buy them? And of course, they would say, no, I don't want to impact the polar bear. I just want to buy a toy. So what happened? What happened was that because of the pressure of the families, they started pressuring Lego. And Lego started pressuring Shell because Lego was buying from Shell. And Lego said, okay, I don't want to buy from you anymore, Shell, because like you are destroying the environment and my clients don't want that. So what Greenpeace did was just to put things together. But when they put things together, they solved another economic problem, which is we call in economics, it's information of asymmetry, information asymmetry. When the one that is buying doesn't know everything about what it's buying, or when you are selling, you don't know everything about your client. So every time you don't know everything about the other, of course you don't have to know, we never know everything about the other. But when you know enough things to buy or to sell, you have this problem of information asymmetry. So what Greenpeace did was to work as an economist, and they solved the problem. Like, I just have to let these people know that what they are doing are impact the polar bear. So if I make the connection for them, so they're not going to buy any more Lego. And because of that, because of being afraid of losing customers, Lego is going to talk to Shell. And Shell is not going to explore the Arctic again. And that really happened. Like we after that, like Shell stopped exploring the Arctic Ocean, and they really started doing that. And after some time in 2018, Lego started using recycled plastic for the bricks. Like the bricks. The bricks is those small pieces, right, that you have for Lego. And then they started using a renewable recycled plastic for their products, and Shell really stopped working with the Arctic, so exploring the Arctic Ocean. And you see, like, and how that worked, like, it worked because like they followed the logics of the world, the logics of economics, and then they could impact the world. So I think this is a very interesting case, like how economics can like change things very different, like you see. And I will show one more case in this direction. This is a company called Allbirds. In Brazil, they are also called You. And I'm just going to share with you what they are doing. That's something, it's not directly related to what we saw from Lego, but it's related, okay? So let me show it again for you.
What if you set out on a crazy journey to make a shoe out of wool? And in doing so, found a way to make footwear that was more comfortable than one.
Professor, I think the audio is not out.
Sorry?
The audio.
Okay, we'll try it again, okay? So Luciana is typing something, just checking here. What's okay, this is just to be present. Okay, so I will do it again. So in case you don't listen, just call me here, okay? I have to include the sound of computer, right? Let me see it here. Okay, so here we go again.
What if you set out on a crazy journey to make a shoe out of wool? And in doing so, found a way to make footwear that was more comfortable than, well, everything. So I know what you're thinking. Why wool? Because it's the world's most miraculous fibre. Inspired by these guys, we found a way to turn one of the world's most amazing renewable resources into a wickable, breathable, comfort experience that's like being upgraded to first class. We dispense with flashy logos, unnecessary detailing, and a focus on synthetics to create something we think the footwear industry has been crying out for. Something better. The major myth about wool is an easy one, so let's hit it quick. When you think wool, you think hot and scratchy, right? Wrong. This is a completely different ballgame. No offense to the team here, but we're not talking about the jumper your grandma knitted you. Oh no. Our superfine merino fibre is 80% finer than a human hair. So does it matter that most sneakers are made from synthetics and synthetics are made from dirty old oil? We think it matters. That's why we're using something renewable instead. Now, don't just take my mum's word on this comfort thing. Take 30 days, try the shoes, and make up your own mind on what's real and what's, well, not. Now, you're welcome to try and catch a sheep and make your own pair, but probably best to leave that to the experts.
Okay, this is also another cute music. Have you guys ever tried this this trademark? This in Brazil it's called "you" or "all birds sneakers." Have you ever used them, or have you ever? Did you know them? Oh, then we have someone here. And would you guys find it interesting to try a sneaker made of wool? Like like wool is the hair of the sheep, right? So what do you think about this? Like, why are they doing this? Why they're not using, like, I don't know, like something else? Well, actually, you know the answer, right? Because what happens here is that like main part of the our sneakers and our shoes are made of plastic again, and then you have the same problem of that we saw with Lego. And then they have to try something else. And here they went for another way of solving the problem. Like instead of like like protesting or fighting the industry or destroying the oil industry and this kind of things, or making a law that would be that could be a solution, right? Let's make a law, and then the law will forbid everybody to use oil. Okay, but people like just want to use this kind of things. They need oil for a certain thing. So you can also use the consumer and the markets to change this kind of thing. So here the solution was different. They were thinking about using a different different material for that. So they went for wool. And the idea is that, okay, I would tell people that they're the same. It's the same idea of Lego, right? I would tell people that they are using something that's damaging the environment, like because it's using oil. And I will show them something comfortable that can be exchanged for that. So I will explore this relation and make it, from it, I will create a viable and profitable business. And with that business, I'm going to change the way people are consuming sneakers, or tennis or shoes. So this is the way they are working. You see, like what they are doing, they are trying to change things using economics and also making a viable business, right? Because it's a really viable business. Well, it's kind of expensive actually. It's I saw that it's costing around 400 to 300 reais. It's for us, so maybe because they are important, I suppose. But well, for me they are still a bit expensive to try. But I think the idea is very interesting, right? Like you can use wool for a lot of things, and wool is sustainable because, like like it's go to the nature. The nature is going to consume this when you discard, when you throw it in the garbage, and also like the sheep, the wool is going to grow again from the sheep because it's natural, right? So you see, like here again, we are solving a problem, like going through economics, like we're solving this problem, this environmental problem using business. That's the important thing here. And you see, like this the presence of everything. This like everything, a lot of things have this. I would say that well, I would say that virtually everything has this economic aspects that we can explore to change things. And if we manage to learn how these things happens and how these relations occur, we can like have many different like we can have many different impacts. Even working inside a company or working in the government or working in a company or working by yourself as a consultant, you can impact the lives of many people and try and make it better for the goals you have, right? Like using the values you have and these kind of things. And here we're going to see another problem, right? This is this problem here. We have a family here, happy family. You see they're all happy. You have this huge smile here and a huge smile here, so they are very happy. And but like they need money, like every family need money because life is difficult and you need to pay your bills. And when you guys graduate, if you are not still doing this, but if when you graduate you have to pay your own bills, and so life gets more very interesting. I'm very happy. I have my own family, but more challenging sometimes. So and then you have here a happy family, but they need money, like they're striving, so they need to find some money. So, okay. So we can have an easy answer here, right? So they go to the money lend them, the bank lend them money. Sorry, they go to the bank lends them money, and then they pay the money back. Like this is the way things work, right? Money, you go to the bank, you ask for money. After some time, well, we're going to use that money to make more money. That's the idea. Like you're going to open your business or going to improve your business, or you're going to you have to do something to get more money, right? Or you're going to get some money from something else, from some source of revenue you have, and then you later you pay the money and you pay the interest rate for the money, like you're giving the money and more money to the bank. And but there's a problem here, like why would the bank give you money if you don't have money? Because like like you're not going to pay back if you are striving. So find some difficulties here, like okay, so you're striving, you don't have money, I am the bank, I have money, but what guarantee do you have that you're going to pay me back? Well, if it's a normal life, like you can, if it's a more normal situation, you can like put your car or your house or something you have as a guarantee, and you say to the bank, okay, if I don't pay you, you can take my car or you can take my house or you can take something I have. But the reality is that most people that need money, they don't have a car, or they don't have a house, or they don't have nothing. That's why they need the money. So okay, so how to solve this? Like here, this is another economic problem. Like in economics, we call this the problems of incentives. Like how can you incentivize people to do something, or how can you align like the company that want to sell something and the families that want to do something to like to work together? You pay and the other sell and these kind of things. And we also have another economic problem here. It's called moral hazard. Moral hazard is when like people can do wrong things, like okay, I give you the money and you disappear, so I'm not going to have this money back. Never. So that's a moral hazard problem. So how can we avoid this? How can we solve this kind of things? So if you guys have some suggestion how to solve, just type it here, okay? This is the open chat, you can use it for that. But let's see how a company made to solve this problem. Again, using a bit of economics and a bit of imagination. So let me share with you here. I will open it here. Just one more share sound. And where is the? I think it's here. Okay. So this is a different one. This is a video from Bangladesh. Bangladesh, in case you don't know, it's a country it's a neighbor from India. Actually, it was during it was part of India in the past, and then they got independent from India. But they look like, for us that are foreigners, they look the same, right? They are very similar to the Indians. So let's see what they did here.
A banker, a man who has loaned billions.
Let's start from the beginning, right?
He is the most unlikely of combinations, a revolutionary banker, a man who has loaned billions of dollars to millions of poor people, all of it without any collateral. Muhammad Yunus believes that credit is a basic human right.
More than half the population of the world do not qualify to take a loan from the existing financial institutions. So unless we can create that environment, people cannot get on with their life.
A Grameen Bank Center is an organization which is made by few groups consisting of landless people. Every group consists of 5 members. Every week, they meet with each other. There are discussions and meetings at the center regarding loan repayments, savings, solutions to problems faced by members, and acceptance of loan proposals.
We wanted to open the door of the banks to provide the financial service to the poorest people. Banks thought they're not creditworthy. You can't lend money to the poor people. They will never pay back. So we started in a very humble way in one village, lending money to few people in that village, without any collateral, without any guarantee, without any lawyers involved in it. And it worked. And it makes us very excited. And then we started expanding it and expanding it. And on the way, we created Grameen Bank. Today, we have nearly 8 million borrowers in Bangladesh, in Grameen Bank. 97% of them are women, starting as a very destitute women. Now they change their life because Grameen Bank gives them the loan. Grameen Bank lends out over $100 million a month in tiny loans, averaging about $220. And that money changes life.
Aisha Begums took loans amounting 6,000, 8,000, 10,000 taka in second, third, and the fourth time respectively, which helped her business grow rapidly. Aisha Begum's basic loan is currently 40,000 taka, and she also has a micro-enterprise loan of 80,000 taka. With the loan money, she has increased the number of sewing machines in her business from 1 to 3. Instead of just 1, now 3 people are employed at her workplace.
Yunus is loaning $20 each to thousands of beggars. But this time, not only will no collateral be required, there are no repayment plans either. Just like that first loan of $27 he made to a small group of women many years ago.
Every center has 16 decisions for socio-economic improvement program, which has played a vital role in improving another member's lives. In her free time, she takes care of her papaya plants.
When I come to a village and talk to the women who joined Grameen Bank 15 years, 20 years back, not only you see their faces and what they wear, how they live, and most of all, looking at the children. The amazing children. Now they're in school, little kids in 5th grade, 6th grade, in colleges. Suddenly you become very optimistic. And today, they are moving out of poverty. Their children are in school. Grameen Bank gives them education loans. They go for higher education. Thousands and thousands of students are in higher education. becoming doctors, engineers, and other professionals out of these illiterate families.
আমার আম্মু সেই ছোটবেলা থেকেই উচ্চ মাধ্যমিক
Okay, so this is a very different environment, right? Here, what we was seeing is an initiative from that started in the 80s, in the end of the 70s and beginning of the 80s in Bangladesh. And then it's running to today. The man that was speaking there, the Muhammad Yunus, he was the Nobel Prize of 2016, 2006, and it's a very important figure today. Did you know that? Have you ever heard about this initiative? Just say as yes or no here, just to check your familiarity with this subject. And what happens here is that, oh, thanks. And so what happens is that you see, like, you have these very poor families. They are in India. They are very similar to the people that I worked with when I was just graduated. It's almost the same. It's the same actually. It's the same style, the same places, and the same thing. Of course, I was not that successful as Mr. Yunus, but I had some contact with this reality. And what he thought was that he was actually, it's interesting because he was an economics professor himself. Himself was teaching. He was teaching economics in the University of Dhaka, which is the capital of Bangladesh. And he was looking at through the window, and he saw the line of the unemployees, like, you know, people searching for unemployment, a job. And he was teaching the class, and he was teaching that things would be normal somehow. Things would go back to normal because of the economic cycles. So, like, you know, like, there's no unemployment forever. Things had to match up sometime. But week after week, he was looking at the line of the people seeking for a new job, and it didn't diminish. It was still the same big line. And he started thinking, why does it happen? Why does it happen? Why the line is not diminishing? And so because of that, he started studying what happened. And then he started talking with some people, some women that were doing brooms, like, you know, like for cleaning your house. And he started talking with her. And he discovered that the problem that they were facing is that they didn't have credit to buy the materials, the raw materials, to make the brooms. And he said, okay, but, you know, like, how much you need? And it was kind of like $27. It's a very small amount. And they actually, and before talking to him, the woman, they went to a person that is kind of someone that was lending money for them, but like it was very expensive, and all the profit they had after selling the brooms they made, it was to pay the interest rate, to pay the lender, to pay the one that lent the money for them. So what Yunus thought was, okay, so I will lend you the money, and so you don't have to pay that very high interest rate, and then your business can evolve and succeed. And that's what he did. He just started with like lending something like this, like $27, and that made a huge difference for those women. But then you still have the problem. Okay, but how are they going to pay me back? Because like they don't have money. So okay, I will lend the money. They just go away, and that's it. And that's lost. The initiative is lost. So what he thought was a very interesting mechanism that worth sharing with you guys. That was like this, like the mechanism he thought was that, okay, instead of lending money for just one person, like, okay, instead of lending money for this woman, he started lending money for a group of women. These women, he asked the women to create a group of women that was like, trying to that needed the money. And then he said, okay, and I will lend the money for the group, not for just one woman. And if the group doesn't pay me, I won't give money for nobody. Like nobody's going to receive money if the group doesn't pay me. And well, but why that? Why? What's the difference of lending money for a group or for a person? Doesn't make any difference. Yeah, it's making a huge difference. So what he found was that as those people, they didn't have like no other way to get money, to get a loan, as his was the only source of money that they have. If they lose this channel, if they lose his money, they wouldn't have any access to credit at all. They would lose all the opportunities they have. They would have no money access, so they would keep in poverty. They would remain poor. So what happened was that like when one woman in the group didn't pay the money, the group would pay for her, so they would not lose the money, they would not lose the credit. And that woman that didn't pay, the rest of the group would isolate her, and she would get a very bad reputation. And here is a huge problem, because she would have a very bad reputation inside the group, and the group is at the same time her family, her religious group, her village, so everything is connected. So the woman said, okay, if I don't pay, I will lose my family contacts, I will lose my work contacts, I will lose my reputation in the village. So the better thing I have to do is to pay. So just in very few cases, they were not going to pay, because like the price of not paying, but it's not a money price, it's a reputation price, it's too high. So they paid the money. And because they paid the money, and through this mechanism, right, he exchanged the financial collateral, like a guarantee for your house. You're giving your house as a guarantee, you're giving your car as a guarantee. He exchanged that for a social guarantee, a social collateral. So the collateral here, what makes people pay the land, to pay the credit, was the reputation that they didn't want to lose from their villagers, from their family, and from all their contacts. So, and it worked quite well, so well that by the year around the year 2000, he had managed to take from the poverty around 1/3 of the population of Bangladesh. And Bangladesh is a huge population. Actually, they have around 150 million people. So it's not the size of Brazil, but it's not that far. So it's imagining a country that's almost the size of Brazil, and 1/3 of the population live the poverty line because of this credit system. So it's a huge impact. That's why he got like a Nobel Prize for that. So the mechanism worked a lot. And why did it work? Because he used economics for that, right? He was using economic concept, and actually he was an economics teacher. And he created a very interesting system of incentives. He managed to create a collateral that was not in money, and because of that, he was able to reproduce, to evolve his business model. Okay, so when we look here, like we look at actually four different scenarios, right? We saw an economist work in a video game company. We saw how we can deal with problems of sustainability and ecology inside companies. We saw the case of Lego. We saw the case of Allbirds. And here we saw financial problem, right? We saw like that. We saw a company, we saw a solution actually for those that didn't have access to credit. And all of that, all these transformations, all these impacts, they were made because like those that were interacting with people understood the rules of the world, understood the logics that was underneath those problems. And then they were able to create viable solutions. And creating viable solutions is the problem of an economist. That's why we do this. This is like, that's what you learn and we learned in economics course. And for that reason, of course, we're not going to not going like too far to say that's the only like field or subject that you can learn other things. You can learn these things in some other subjects also, but I think this is one of the best of them. Like you learn how to create viable and anyway, I would say that how to create viable solutions. The economist is kind of a problem solvers, and here you had some problems and people understand the logics behind these problems, the rules that were underneath these problems, and then they were able to create very interesting solutions that are working and are still working. Okay, and well, that's all from my end. That's what I would like to share with you, to share a little bit about like different topics from economics. And I just would like to thank you for being with me, to being together here. And I think I hope it was interesting for you as it was for me. Okay, so thank you.
Professor, thank you for your time, for the class. It was amazing. Guys, thank you for all. And we have you a good night. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you. And if you can, just check the evaluation form I put there. It's interesting for me to know, to hear from you what you think, okay? Okay, so thank you.
Thank you. Bye.